Special greetings, a special welcome to all of you who are locked in, yes, with me at this time. It is just about 5 minutes past 6 o'clock in Dominica, that is the Commonwealth of Dominica. Let me say a special greetings as well to all of you in the region. Those of you in the region, in that regional space, a pleasant good evening and welcome. Those of you further afield, thank you very much for your eyes and ears each and every time as well. Those of you here on the live feed with me, a special good evening to you guys, no matter where you are listening or viewing at this time. My friends further afield, I know for sure, we just spoke earlier, a good buddy of mine in Russia. It is what, about just 5 minutes past 1 Sunday morning time in Russia. And this young lady always stay up and listen to hear just what, yes, she can understand English. So my good buddy in Russia, good evening, good morning to you rather. Those of you in the region, good evening to you. Those of you in Dominica, good morning. I have some friends as well in Botswana, good evening to you. Where else? Ethiopia, yes, you guys, my dear darling, good evening to you. And each and every one of you here on this live feed, as they say, in this time that we live with technology, basically, it's a little village. They call it a global village. And so, yes, that's how it is with the power of technology indeed. Folks, it is the 11th. What did I say? The 7th? No, man, sorry, pardon. It is the 11th, yes, night of January, Saturday that is. And tonight promises to be a very big night in Dominica in terms of the Calypso business. And so those of you who are Calypso lovers, the forecourt of the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, that is where you ought to be tonight, giving support to Dominicans who are going to do their thing tonight in terms of presenting to you, presenting to us as to what's on their mind as it relates to a song or a couple lines that they would like to tell us tonight. So it will be based on the numbers. I think it is 43 of them I am hearing tonight, men and women who will be vying for a spot at the elimination round. 32 will go through tonight, so at least 11 will stay down, as it were. But you know how it is, everybody tonight will be presenting. They are a winner in their own right. And so we compliment each and every one of them for having that strength of character to do their thing as it pertains to help building Dominica. Yes, folks, tonight is a shortened version, as I promised you guys last week. It is a shortened version of the usual 2-hour program that we normally used to have here each and every Saturday. You would well have known by now, those of you who follow me, from the last Saturday when we presented last year, I told you guys that come this year, some things will be tweaked a bit in terms of programming content and also timing. And so that is what we will be sticking to from this year moving on. From 6 to 7, that is it in terms of the program time for tonight and in moving forward. So we have to move now with a certain level of speed. We have to move with a certain, vitesse, as it were, the French would say, with a certain level of alacrity, as we must get things in terms of the information tonight be dispensed to you guys out there. So without saying much more in terms of introduction and just hailing you guys out there, let me just get right into it. As I said before, let me just reiterate that point. Tonight is expected to be a big night in the Calypso business in Dominica. The Calypso elimination, it's on tonight at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. That is the forecourt, that is, of that place. 43 Calypsonians, I'm being told, they will be vying for a spot to take them to the quarter-finals. So if you want to see and hear those who will be making it tonight, radio shouldn't be a thing, social media should not be a thing. Once you're alive and well, healthy and strong, you should go give support in the physical to these brothers and sisters tonight, and also by extension the DCE, that is the Dominica Calypso Association. Well done, guys, so far in terms of your guys' stewardship of not letting Calypso business die in Dominica. Yes? All right, folks, we're going to start tonight on a very sad note. Most of you, if not all of you, would have known by now or heard the passing, unfortunate passing that is, of Miss Evelina Baptist. Evelina Baptist served Dominica in a number of capacities when she was here with us in the flesh. And so she served as DPP, the Dominica, the public prosecution in Dominica. She served in that capacity once, when she was here with us in that vein. And, some may have loved her, some may have hated her, some may have, but she served there as the director of public prosecutions in Dominica for some time. I can tell you, a no-nonsense woman indeed, but as life would have it, some will like you, some will love you, and indeed some will hate you. But that's a fact of life, okay? She also served as well as chief magistrate for a number of time, and so, yes, she did justice in that department as well. The last I saw and spoke with Miss Baptist, it was last Saturday. Remember, guys, I told you guys via an announcement via my page, I was not able to be here last Saturday with you guys because I was engaged in something as it pertains to nation building. And so I can report to you, I was part of a workshop, a Calypso Georgie's/Georgine workshop last Saturday, and yes, Miss Baptist, she was there. Evelina Baptist, she was there. For those of you who know, she is or was a judge in the Calypso business in Dominica, a very formidable one at that. And so she and Mr. Ian Jackson and Observer and the others, they were there basically just imparting some knowledge to the trainees, including myself, as to what do you guys have to look out for in terms of the judging of a good Calypso. And so Evelina was there, and Evelina was really upbeat, jovial, animated. She really contributed. Those of you who know her very well, when she speaks, she has this level of persuasion and articulation. And so she was just there. She really made the workshop what it was last week. And so that is the last I heard. That is the last we spoke, only to find out that this morning, getting up to that very dreaded news, that the bubbly lady that I had this conversation with last week, Saturday, 1 week on, she's no more with us in the physical. And so to her friends, her family, her loved ones, all those who cherished her, our sincerest condolences at this time. In this time, I normally say you have to look up, because that is where our true, yes indeed, true strength comes from. Friends will come around and try to support, but it is only that peace that surpasses all understanding that really and truly will and can cut it in those very trying and perilous times. So Evelina, you did your work. The good Lord decided it was time for you to come home. And so whatever you left with us in terms of example, integrity, a woman of great fortitude, I just want to thank you for your service rendered to Dominica and Dominicans in whatever way, shape, or form you did. You did an excellent job. Obviously, some persons may believe that there's always room for improvement, which is a fact of life, but I believe you did your job worthy of praise. And so, though you may not have gotten it when you're alive, I think it is honorable now to give it to you, as we are all coming to grips with that very, very sad news of your untimely passing at this time. Folks, what I got in terms of information coming out from the main hospital, Ms. Baptist, it was reported, visited that hospital yesterday, complaining of feeling unwell, and whatever she was feeling unwell about, she succumbed. As to the nitty-gritty of what went on there are some things that I will hold to my chest for now based on my protocol. I would really like to fact check and verify what I have heard so far from at least 2 sources from within, but I would want to corroborate that information first before I give you guys an idea just what may, I repeat, may have went on at the main hospital in Goodwill, Evina Baptist passing. But she's no more in the flesh, and so that is a very trying time for some people, especially in the legal fraternity in Dominica. I saw videos circulating around that even yesterday, I believe, yes, she was in some sort of, should I say, corral setup, where I think the lawyer opened or whatever they were having there with some other of her colleagues. And so she was singing away yesterday morning, I'm being told, and only to find out in the evening of yesterday, she had to leave us. But that is a fact of life, that is a part of life that we all have to live with and come to grips with whenever this very dreaded time comes around. How I always want to leave us when these times show up is that Evelina did her part. Evelina is no more. And so it is us now, the living, those who are left behind, to follow whatever example she set, whatever wake-up call that we need to learn, whatever preparation that needs to be done. That is what I would really and truly implore on all of us at this time, in terms of, as most of you in the religious fraternity would know that phrase very well, please be very sure that your election calling, whenever it is called, you are on the right side of that calling. Yeah, that is how I want to leave you guys tonight in terms of meditation or meditating as we come to grips with the passing of Evelina Baptist indeed. Those of you who are mourning as well, the loss of your loved ones, we condole with you as well. Those of you who are sick, we empathize with you. Whatever way you're sick, Dominica at this stage, I can tell you based on where I sit, we have a number of sick people going to and through in this country. It's just name it. If you talk to the majority of Dominicans, there's a certain ailment that they are going through. So who's not sick in the body in terms of infirmity? And then there's the economic sickness that we have to deal with, and some persons are trying to cope. And so the maladies in Dominica, I can tell you, it is touching each and every one in one way, shape or form. So whatever it is you may be going through, I don't know, you know better than me. I just empathize with you at this time and can give you that hope and assurance that once there's life, there's hope, and you should never give up, as it were. Tomorrow it may just be a better day for you. All right. Folks, as we're on the hospital issue, I had the opportunity to visit the PMH on Thursday morning. A very good friend of mine, when I made contact with him Thursday morning, he told me basically he wasn't feeling well. And based on his voice, I could hear he wasn't feeling well at all. And so I asked him whether he wanted to go to the hospital. He told me yes. And so I told him to get himself ready and I will take him there. I got this brother to the hospital about 9 a.m. That is Thursday morning. When we got there, we spoke to this attendant who normally take notes and names and, just having you entered in the system. That was about 9 o'clock. She told me what to do, go and pay some fees for him. I did that and, kind of have him settle in, waiting to see a medical practitioner as to what really was going on. So after that, process was done with her up front, she told me that guide him down that casualty area about, 120 feet away from where she was sitting in that sort of waiting area. And so that is what I did with my brother. I sat him down and I told him, well, it's nothing I can do now. Just wait here till your number or name is called and you should be seen by a medical doctor. That was 9 o'clock in the morning, people. The entire day passed. I heard nothing from this brother in terms of a call or feedback or whatever it is. About 5:30, I left Cochrane and I went down to the PMH to just see what was up. Lo and behold, to find this brother now not sitting, but lying on a little portable bed in that casualty area. So I asked him, what is up, what's wrong, did they check him, what is happening, did he see a doctor? Truth be told, he had this, this bag of drips attached to a needle attached to his arm, his hand here, and the bag of drips in the thing they have to push around. And he was just laying there, and he told me he has not seen a doctor as yet, or a doctor has not come to his aid as yet. I said, you serious? He said, yes. So here it is from 9 o'clock in the morning, people. And let me just track back. When I picked up this brother and placed him in my vehicle en route to the PMH, this brother, I can tell you, was in serious pain. Excruciating pain, I must say. And so there was a certain point en route to the hospital, based on the noise that was coming from this brother in terms of the anguish that he was going through. I had to sort of turn back and, give him that sort of encouragement now and then. I even went as far as telling this brother, please, just hold it there for me, please. Please don't pass on me. Just keep it there for me, please. That is how serious it was at the time, in my humble estimation. Because, folks, it is one thing for a woman to be bawling with pain. Women are sort of, no disrespect, but you will not find women complaining about pain, for whatever pain. But when a man is telling you and is showing signs and is groaning under pain, you know that something is not right. And so Thursday had a boat in port, and 9 after 9 thereabout, it was this sort of backlog in terms of traffic. And so I had to make a decision based on what the situation was at the time. And so I decided when I reached by the Old Mill area and I saw this sort of backlog traffic, and I was in town earlier in the morning, so I saw that ship in port, on the Woodbridge Bay port. So I know I was in for some sort of waiting, as it were. So I had to make a decision as to what to do from there. This brother is groaning in the back, and I have to make a decision. So I decided to put on my hazard and hit it. And so those of you on Thursday morning, those of you who may have passed on that road and you may have been wondering what is wrong with this mad driver, that is what was wrong with this mad driver at this time. Put on my hazard and held that horn from my old mill and basically just had to do what I had to do to try to get this brother to the casualty department. Lo and behold, we reached safe, deposited this brother there. And so fast forward now, 6 o'clock, I'm coming to just get an update. This brother is telling me a doctor have not come to his aid as yet. And folks, we're talking about 9 hours plus later. Now, people, whenever people like me and others speak to the best of our knowledge, read our health care or lack thereof in Dominica, some of you or some people out there, you guys have a problem with that. Oh, you are crying down the country. You don't like this, you don't like that, and you're anti this and anti that. And so if that is your posture when yours truly speak, then that is left to you. But trust me, my conscience will not let me or keep me from speaking what I am feeling and what other Dominicans are feeling as it pertains to the lack of proper health care in Dominica. So I'm putting those of you a note. If you don't like to hear me speaking, you can bow out. But that will always be on my mind as it relates to the lack of proper health care in Dominica. Someone comes in with a pain. The brother couldn't walk. I basically had to hold this brother under his arm, held him under his arm and helped him walk to my vehicle, helped him walk to the attendant, helped him walk to his seat where they told him to wait. And 9 hours after, a doctor, a medical professional, did not see this brother as yet. I brought food for him, some clove item for him, whatever he asked me for during the course of the day when I made contact with him. The nurse on duty told me that, or confirmed to me rather, a doctor has not seen him as yet, and so they will not allow him to eat anything. So I guess it was the bag of what you call life water that was really holding him up for the day. And he was telling me, told the nurse that he was hungry, feeling really hungry. Folks, that is not acceptable. It is unacceptable, people, in this day and age. And personally, I don't care what excuse you can come up with. In 2025, the Commonwealth of Dominica, a country that has touched so much money in terms of grants and loans and CBI sales, it cannot be in 2025 someone has to wait 9 hours plus to see or be attended to a medical practitioner at not a clinic, but the main health care site in Dominica. It cannot be, people. And so that really, it tears my heart apart to see Dominicans in 2025 and before I've been going through that situation over and over again. And coupled on that, to top that up, you have people in high positions or so-called high positions in Dominica, from minister and PSCs and whoever. They will come and tell us lies, downright lies. And not just one time, but over and over again. It is said, people, he who feels it knows it. And so if you guys are not feeling it, you don't know it. At the PMH, it was reported to me that the wards there, the holding areas, Emery, Daubigny, Alford, whatever it is, these holding areas are packed to capacity. So it really now have to take a life-threatening situation for anybody to be administered on a ward. And that is how crucial it is. So you now have the casualty department now that is supposed to be a place for emergency, in and out. It is now clustered with these little mobile beds all over the place, with people just lying there as if, well, Dominicans are refugees in their own land. That is the setup. And you have the nurses under pressure. You have the doctors under pressure. You have the wardens under pressure. You have everybody up there under pressure. Imagine this young lady that I met there 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm presuming she was there about 7:30, 8 o'clock. That's my assumption. I came back at 6 o'clock and met this young lady still attending to people, administering people. So that is the very grim situation that we are experiencing in Dominica as it pertains to lack of health care. But you will have this man who sits in the chair as Prime Minister come and tell you these hanky-panky stories about Dominica and Dominicans and visitors coming from wherever to come to Dominica for health care. That is a downright lie from the pit of hell. You will have a man like Cassani Laville that is supposed to be a contractor or in that field, a square peg in the wrong hole, I call him, as Minister of Health. Don't know if he's going or his ministry is coming. So you have a square peg in Cassani Laville, in the name of Cassani Laville, in a wrong hole or in the wrong place in terms of where his expertise are. And you have a qualified medical doctor given a poison chalice in the Ministry of Finance with an empty bag. And Mr. McIntyre, my pal rep in the valley, is comfortable with that. When Mr. McIntyre is better suited to be the head honcho of the Ministry of Health to make sure things happen in the interest of Dominicans. You'd have him holding an empty bag and cannot do nothing with that bag, because everything that has to come out or go into that bag is the one who gave it to him. So everything about finance, except when they come to give that, whatever it is, in Parliament called budget, ovally, it is Roosevelt. So the man who holds the position as Minister of Finance. He's nowhere in play as it pertains to speaking to that ministry. And so that sordid state continues over and over again. The nurses, every one of the nurses that talk to yours truly in private, it is one common denominator. Lofty, I am ready. Once an avenue is made, I am ready to leave this place. Once a door opens up, I am ready to move. I'm ready to go. This place is too stressful. That is the call. That is the talk. But some of us, or some of you rather, continuing on in this country as if, well, all is well. All is not well, people. All is not well. And it is only when some of you get into a situation and you have to go through the mess, then you realize something is fundamentally wrong. Then is when you have an eye-opener as to, that is how the place is now. And you start now to, as the good word says, put water in your wine, as it were. But sometimes it may be too late. It may just be too late. And so, Dominicans, if it's one thing we should rally behind as a people, it is for proper and effective health care. This is not politics, people. This is your livelihood. This is your... Without health, there cannot be no wealth. There cannot be no you. You will be extinct. And so if we cannot as a people rally to get a proper health system going, what else can we rally behind? When your child's sick, when you get sick, when your uncle, your nene, your power, your bopa, your whoever gets sick, you want to know that you're going to be administered to a place at least. What should be done will be done. And don't talk about the medication part of it. So after you sit there for 9, 10, 12 hours waiting to see a medical doctor, and they give you a prescription to go to the whatever pharmacy on the side, there's empty. There's empty. And so your relative, a friend, whoever it is, now have to fetch that medication for you at Bullseye, Jollies, or wherever, so that you can be made well again. That cannot continue to cut it in 2025. And so I know some of you guys have been mad sick about electoral reform and free and fair elections, but if there's no proper health, you cannot even stand up in a line to make an X. So let's put our priorities right, people. I'm not saying it is not important, but let's put first things first. The amount of people I saw with my eyes just littered all over in casualty department. Lying, standing, sitting, groaning. It's just a mess. And what I'm being told is that only if you come in there with blood running through your head, or blood, or your stomach is split wide open, or your leg, then some sort of urgency will be placed on you or your case. That's it. Other than that, you come there with a pain, fatal or not. It's like the system just doesn't care. So I'm saying to us people, as a collective, we have to come together to fix that. That shouldn't be, oh, I hate you and I don't like you. No, that should be everybody's business. Health in Dominica should be all of us' business. All of us have the potential to fall sick at any time. And the sort of fallacies that are here coming through these ministers' mouth as it pertains to the health situation in Dominica, sometimes I just feel to vomit. And I know some of you feel to vomit, because some of you going through the situation and you're hearing otherwise, making news, making the rounds, painting that picture as if, well, all is well. All is not well. That is the humane part of it. Let's come to another section before I move across into another segment, and then we go. The hospital itself, the renovated building, is already falling apart. Don't stay outside on Goodwill Road or Centurion Street or by the roundabout and watch it with it yellow or whatever paint and think potty and paint, they say, makes the devil himself or herself looks like a saint. And that's what you have there. The zinc material that we used on that building is already corroding away. Under what, 5 years of renovation? Would you expect to build a house in 2025 and you give a builder to build for you, and after 5 years the zinc sheets on your roof is rotting away? You'd ask him a question. You'd ask the manufacturer a question, especially if it is said to you it is top notch. The railings on the hospital, the wooden railings, the trimmings, they're already rotting. Don't take my word for it. Go see it for yourself. The nurses and doctors are complaining when they're there in the place. Blow! A tile fall down in the bathroom or in a room or wherever. Water's all over the place. The place is like a strainer when it rains. So on top of not getting or not being able to get the proper care that one needs, one still have to contend with these external issues that will affect them negatively. Imagine you go in a bathroom to bathe, and you have to walk inside there as if, well, you're walking on eggshells because the floor is so slippery when wet. It's like, who does that in 2025? Didn't the builders know they have to put non-skid tiles on the floor, on the flooring? Didn't they know that? The air conditioning units, some of them, they are not working. And there's nobody in Dominica, no technician in Dominica was equipped or trained to deal with those things. And so it is just a mess. And it is only when you go there, you will understand what I am saying, people. Don't wait for that time. Be prepared not just to say, but to do something about our situation. And one of the ways I'm recommending to do something about the situation, trust me, this government has plateaued. They can do no more. We have seen them at their best. We have seen them at their worst. And now they are at their worst. They can do no more. And so what they are doing now is just making a mess out of governance. That's what it is. They're making a mess. And in that process, you, the people, you are suffering. That's what it is. And so we as a people, we have to do what we have to do to ensure that we remove that very cancerous type government on our backs very, very soon. Sooner rather than later. We have to. is not getting any better, people. After 25 years of that, quarter century, people, come on, come on. 25 years of hard labor, and some of you dying under it, and you will not lift a finger. You will not move a muscle. Because why? Your party in power. Your children's lives are at stake. Your life is at stake. The economy of Dominica is in the gutter as we speak. The Chinese that I spoke of before, they are our newfound friends, and they're building everything. They're giving everything on a silver platter. And so last night, a brother or sister, because you know some people use fictitious names, came under a post that I did on my page and want to tell me, or want to convince me, that we are not Chinaized as yet in Dominica. If everything goes to the Chinese and the Dominican people, we are left to get the scraps or the crumbs, how else do you want to say it? So when every major infrastructure that must be built now, the go-to people are the Chinese, schools, health centers, roads, building, whatever it is, just name it. And this brother had the audacity to come and tell me, oh, what's your name? I forget the name now. Got a $9 million project. If I didn't hear that too. Brother, that is crumbs. That is peanuts. That is change for where we are. It is sad that we are still in that sort of mental slavery mode, that we cannot come to understand where we are as a people. So if a Chinese firm or Chinese firms are being embellished with billions of dollars of your money, and you're comfortable now in your skin to suggest that another local company gets a project for $9 million, that is what? Millions compared to billions? Some of us, whatever we drank, we need to puke it up. It's not doing good in our system. Straight up. So that was just my take, people, on where we are on the healthcare situation. Let me just see if I can take some of your comments. It's already quarter to the hour, which I have to go in 15 minutes. Some Dominicans, like ostriches, their heads are buried. That is Danny Williams saying that. Good evening to you. Pat Cobbett says, Lofty, the volume. No. Pat, check your volume, please. The volume is not low tonight, I can tell you that. Check that volume, Pat. Al Charles says, just wait for when the airport build, how fast it will close. Dave Bertrand says, Angelo Allen want us scared has twinned Dominica to China. Santia Tia says, and they go on the other radio station talking bull. Color Guy says, unless the people turn away from the wicked ways, I will heal their land. Time to turn to God, my people, in unity. Time to remove the Chinese from our country. Gina Castle says, you must see how the bathroom is. Toilet and bathroom in the same place. And to access the bathroom, you have to leave the water onto a porch. Is if you sleep in, you can get a cold. Well, Gina, thanks for your comment. I guess you have visited there and you know what you're talking about. Ronnie Roy Matthew says, did they ever had a best? From they came into power, they were their worst. Thank you, Ronnie, for your comment. Annie Joseph says, change is just a must. Let me see if I could get some more people or more fresh names coming in here. Ivor Jim says, from the next level to the axe level. Danny Williams, Chinese rubbish they want. Who else here in terms of another name? Ferdinand Lawrence says nothing changes in Dominica unless Dominicans change this government, and that needs to be done urgently, he says. Mary Jo says, when it directly hits home. Joseph Myrnaville, Joseph says, no one should outshine the big boss, hence the square pegs in wrong hole. Mariana Melvington says, Lofty, I don't agree with you on that one. It doesn't matter who is qualified for which ministry here because none of the ministers expected to act in a professional capacity. The one man takes directives from his external financiers, who are really the ones in charge of Dominica. Well, Mariana, I understand what you say, but at the end of the day, if we have people in positions in Dominica, at least, they have to show some sort of semblance of dealing with the ministry, all right? So it cannot be one man continue to speak for all the different ministries in Dominica. But I understand the context in which you are coming from. Dennis Song says the only person who could relate with what is going on in the hospital, they have him in the finance ministry. Shake my head. James Cam said, Lofty, you should see a similar post from a Porto Liberite, Vado, also spending 9 hours to be seen by a doctor at the PMH suffering from stomach pain. When we speak about this, smart ass called me a jackass, blaming the hospital administration as if people voted for the hospital administration. Norma Ito says, you guys need to get rid of that government by any means necessary. Anita Adams says, even Parliament, the man said that you can get an MRI done for $150 to $200, and the Minister of Health or the doctor that is now the finance minister said nothing. Let me just come back to this comment from James Cam, where he spoke about the Porto Liberite. Well, most of us, those of us who have been following social media, saw this lady who normally portrays herself to be a Liberite in Dominica by the name of Vado. I saw, well, she had something to say on social media. I don't want to come down on the Vado to her because at the end of the day, Vado is a Dominican. Though she may be a Liberite, as she continued to say, but at the end of the day, it is times like that, Vado, you have to understand what you have been supporting. So I hope after that experience, Vado, maybe you will have a change of heart, a change of mind. That is all I want to say on that element of your ailment at this time. That is all. Just maybe, because of that experience, you may have a change of heart in moving forward. Let me see here. All right. Folks, the last 10 minutes that we have, let me just see if I can run through something very quickly with us. The much talked about electoral reform, or creating a fairer and freer space, a place for elections to be held in Dominica. I think, people, we are now flogging a dead horse. That's my own estimation. We are flogging a dead horse. Because it is said, show me your friends, I'll show you who you are. And a person is known by their character, not what they say. And so Roosevelt have been saying a lot, but not prepared to do in the interest of free, fair, and transparent elections. And so Dominicans, those of you who have been calling for that, those of you who have been clamoring for that, I want to disappoint you tonight. There's not, absolutely not. There's not going to be no free and fair electoral process that will be reformed in Dominica under this what passes for Labour Party. I'm going to say it again so that it can sink in. There's not going to be no free, fair, and transparent process to facilitate elections in Dominica under this current what passes for Labour Party people. So if some of you are in La La Land, if some of you are in Dreamland, I'm not. Because it cannot be times without number. Roosevelt keeps fooling you in Dominica as it relates to making the way, making an avenue for that process to take place. And every time that goalpost or that can is being kicked down the road. And so this latest talk now about in the next or in the first quarter of 2025, he's going to go in parliament and nobody's going to stop him. Dominicans, look out. That is basically telling you that that can or that goalpost has been shifted so many times, it can be shifted no more. And so here it is now, this bold, this drastic move is going to be made in 2025. And the only people that can make it right, that move, is you and we, the Dominican people. Some of you may not like to hear it. But I am seeing, I am sensing another May 79 event in Dominica on that one. I am seeing, I am sensing another May 1979 as it relates to making the way possible for Roosevelt and his clique, his regime, to continue to steal elections in Dominica, and they're now going to make it law. That's what they want to do. That is their intention, and the people of Dominica, no talk, no peaceful protest, no rally, no this, nothing of that is going to stop this man unless he is stopped in a way that he needs to be stopped. And May 1979 will be like a walk in the botanical gardens if the Dominican people don't do what needs to be done to put Roosevelt and company in check. That's all I can say on that matter, people. So I'm not going to waste my time with this talky. No. Roosevelt needs to be stopped in his track. What the Dominican people want in their constitution, that is what he must enact in parliament. We cannot have it the other way around. If we have it the other way around, Bashar al-Assad, Putin, Gaddafi, Uganda guy, and that is what we'll be facing in Dominica, people. And so I am in no dream. I am in no dream unless this man is stopped in 2025. He will want to have his way to continue to steal violated elections in Dominica by not the usual way, under the table, bringing in people and passing little red envelopes and bribery and treaty. No. He now wants to legitimize it through parliament. And you heard him say it. Nobody's going to stop him from having Dominicans overseas names. Those who are not eligible to be on the list, be struck off that list. So you get an idea where this mind is at. He paid Byron pretty close to $1 million to bring about recommendations. And he handpicked what he wanted in Byron thing, and he bringing it. Bring the dossier, my brother. Bring the dossier. So the most critical component of regulating the money that he and his regime continue to use to buy their way, purchase an election, that is what he wants to continue to do by going to parliament and making it legit now. Where we at now? This vote ID card and media and free access and those things are less of a priority now. Dominicans, no Dominicans. I'm telling you, if the monies that should be going into an election is not regulated as per law, we can kiss this country's whatever is called of it as democracy. Bye-bye. So you see, he's not speaking about that. You see, when that topic comes up, it's like as if he's deaf. You see, when that topic comes up, as if he is blind. That is the key cog that he wants to continue to use to remain on Dominicans' back for timely memorial. It is the money. So let us not fight about cards. Let us not fight about media access. Let us not fight about whatever it is. The money. The money. Once they can use that money to stuff people's mouths and their stomach, that's it. So if it's one thing, Dominicans must stand up and make sure and ensure that we control the monies that are flowing in those elections in the future. That's it. The list and the whatever, they'll come after. The money, people, the money. And if you guys can go in the mind of a dictator, you will understand what I'm talking about. The things that are borderline, they keep beating on it like a drum. And the things that are really, really critical and crucial, they never, ever want to even speak about it, much less to do something about it. So if you heard nothing I said tonight, Dominicans, that one point, let us ponder on that in 2025, and let us be prepared to do something about it. An hour has come, an hour has gone. Tomorrow from 6 o'clock, we'll be having the chairman of the ERC, Mr. Johnson Boston, on the Civic Vibes program with us. Most likely will be giving us an update as to where this ERC organization, an organization that is made up of, well, a number of different opposing forces. He is the chair of that organization. He will give us an update as to what is on the cards for 2025 in moving forward. And I would want to thank the mobilization and inspiration of the masses now to counter-attack what is ahead will be top priority on Mr. Boston's agenda tomorrow when he speaks with us. So Dominica, please feel free to join us then. Thank you very much, as I say, each and every time for your eyes and ears. But that is it. Time has come. And time has gone. See you tomorrow at 6 o'clock on the Civic Vibes platform. And also remember, tonight is the big night in Calypso in Dominica, whereby at least 43 people will be taking the stage tonight in terms of having their 5 minutes of quote-unquote glory. 11 will stay down, 32 will go through, and this 32 will form part of first quarter, whenever that it is. Thank you very much, those of you here, those of you abroad. See you next week Saturday, same time, same place, with other topics of national